So it's been a minute since we've gone over Uncanny X-Men 460. So I thought now that everything's kind of starting to settle down and I can kind of dig through my books, we go over 461. And I was excited for this book just because Mojo showed up at the end of the last issue, and I was like, hell yeah. Anytime Mojo's in a book for me, I get excited. And I just noticed through the years, I've seen hints of this cover, and I'm like, damn, why do I think this looks so cool? And it didn't occur to me that this was Frank Cho. So, hell yeah, having him as the cover artist there, awesome possum. And during this era, kind of the early 2000s, mid 2000s, no, it was early 2000s. This was August 2005. It says for Mojo Rising what books you probably want to read to get caught up. And I wish that they did that more often. Like, they'll still kind of say previously here and there, but they give you the numbers, which is great because the New Mutants Annual 2 that we went over, that's the first appearance of Psylocke when Mojo twisted her. It's been a long time since I read 164, so I'm not 100% sure what happened with that book. So we'll eventually go over it. I have it somewhere. And then, of course, 460 that we've already gone over. So good stuff that I wish that they would still do that, especially for people that are new to the series. I just wish that they would do that more often. And then we're treated to a gorgeous splash page as everyone's ready to take on Mojo as he's come into this world, piggybacking off Rachel and what's Nightcrawler's daughter's name? TJ Nocturna or something like that, or Nocturne. Anyway, moving along. Mojo Rising. Chris Claremont and Tom Rainey doing the plotting and artwork and all that good stuff. Scott Hanna inks. Gina Guillaume doing the colors. BC's Bruce Wooten doing the lettering. And then there's everyone else working on the book. And of course, the X-Men were created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And look at the splash page. It's so exciting. And what I enjoy more is we saw last issue that Psylocke's back from the dead, and so she's still kind of coping with that. She's seeing visions of her brother, Jamie Madrox, the mad, insane one of the family. And so Psylocke says, most of the X-Men have history with this bloat. So we give Mojo the welcome he deserves. We hit him with all we've got. And I just love how he's sitting there like, whatever. Oh, it's so lovely to be remembered. But when you think everything's going to get awesome and we're going to get like a screwed up version of Mojo Vision, which is essentially what this is, this part made me laugh because all of a sudden Spiral's like, don't look at me, I'm just fighting for your misbegotten life. Totally to the point, but what's taking so long? Just considering the consequences of letting them win. But this is way more fun. Ruin the X-Men's day? Simply deploy your basic Jean bomb. Because at this point, Jean was still dead. She died, what was it, in Grant Morrison's New X-Men, and that's kind of how Scott and Emma got together. But we just see this real fudged up doll version of Jean flying at him. I'm back. And all of a sudden, boom, you think, wow, what could a Jean bomb do? And then this is where the book kind of pissed me off, because enter the X-Babies. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I hate the X-Babies with a purple passion. It's not fun. It's not cute. And this is probably one of the few tropes of Chris Claremont that I hate. Turn Storm into a girl or a baby more times we can count. Magneto, and then what was like the first appearance of Longshot or Spiral or whoever it was in that annual was the first appearance of the X-Babies, and I just wish that the X-Babies would, pardon my language, I wish they would just fuck off. I do not like them, and it annoys me. So, yes, the X-Men are having to fight Mojo. Awesome. And the only one that's left as an adult is Betsy, and Mojo's wondering, why didn't my magic work on you? And so I'm thinking it's either A, because she just came back from the dead, or B, because he's already altered her and kind of gives her an immunity. She goes, the moment Spiral stops me cold, my telekinesis wave vanishes. Momentum does the rest. And she's trying to tell him to leave her and gag. So there's some good moments, but I just wish this would have been like a battle royale, or just like the early, what was it, like X-Men number 9, was it, when Longshot returned and we get Mojo in that issue? Stuff like that. Because here they're all running, of course, And Storm, Rachel, stop being such a baby. Nocturne, be nice. So I don't know, maybe it's just me. But yeah. I like how Kurt, of course, says Storm leads the X-Men. So, Aurora, what do we do now? But Betsy said, go get help. So it just would have been great to have seen her normally. And of course, seeing Betsy back to that screwed up version, because he says, what's wrong with you? My very own posable action figure. Oh, this is such a treat, but what's wrong with her face? Could it be that she doesn't look enough like you? Something much better, but that's not it. Something about the eyes. Ugh! Her eyes, they're human eyes. Her bionic cameras have been replaced. This is shameful, outrageous, intolerable. Someone dare tamper with my property. I'll have you know, Missy, that I consider this a flagrant breach of contract. And so, again, go back and read the New Mutants annual, and you'll see how he really screwed with Psylocke. Now, here we see Mojo's exile legals. And they never do explain if this is the actual exiles. Because if so, then Nocturne should be part of them, which is TJ. But, well, I don't know, because there's a... Maybe, I don't know. Because it's just cool to see Morph and Blink, but I don't know. I don't know if these are just like clones or whatever. And then the way they move, you just kind of like... It feels like a full-on freaking acid trip that these legal eagles are after the X-babies. And it just feels like it turns into Home Alone antics, tripping them, dropping tarps on them. Yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, here Sasquatch says, okay, we're talking criminal action for aggravated battery, plus civil actions for costume restoration, emotional trauma, loss of consortium, and then Morph. We love lawsuits. So again, I feel like this book, for me, wouldn't have chapped my ass so much if it hadn't been for the X-babies. Because there's a moment where all of them, they're kids, so they don't have the power, except for Juggernaut. He goes, pick on someone your own size. And he knocks Sasquatch on his ass, but it smashes Nocturne. And it makes Kane pause, and he goes, what have I done? Not again. It's the same as when I fought Black Tom. Now, I think this was I don't know if this was X-Men 143 or one of the Uncanny X-Men, but there was a mutant student who looked up to Juggernaut. He goes, little Sammy Purry was my friend. He was just a kid. Because of me, he got killed. Sammy! Don't touch me. Get away from me. I hate you. And Sammy never got to see what the consequences of what happened that caused Juggernaut to accidentally kill him. And it just really screws him up to the point where he flees the fight. And so more fighting, more antics. So I'll laugh. It makes me laugh. But what really irks me is this point where Aurora's trying to get to the fail-safes, because they're still in the mansion. It's just covered by like a Mojo Dome or something like that, because this doesn't take place on Mojo World. She comes across Kane. She goes, are you okay? I'm as okay as you, Storm. I was born to fly. I don't do well in tight spaces. So why are you here? I'm the only one who knows the command protocols. This is the safest way into the control room. Why are you hiding, Kane? You're way stronger than those grown-ups. Part of me wants to stop you. If the X-Men win, I'll become the Juggernaut again. When I joined the X-Men, I became friends with Sammy. We were buds. He died believing I betrayed the team, betrayed our friendship, betrayed his mom. His last words, he stated, he said he hated me. And I just feel like if this would have been an actual Kane moment, it would have been a lot more emotional, especially when Storm essentially kind of tells him to grow up. But she does say, would it hurt so much to let Kane have a second chance at life? Now, I don't want to give the whole story away. I do want you guys to go read this. And then I love the decision Kane makes that makes him grow back into an adult. Now, I wish that Claremont would have had more time to let all these stories breathe. But right after this issue, you're kind of hoping to see where else he would have taken the X-Men after years of not being on the book. But we start getting slapped into another Marvel event, which at this point it wasn't as in your face as it is now, where it's like there's an event, and while that event's going on, we're going to have another event. And on top of that event, once this event's over and that event ties up, we're going to launch into this event plus another 5-part art crossover that leads into another event. It doesn't do that. Plus the 17,000 million, variants. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. We're just going to focus on this book. So if you guys have enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost, go support your local comic shop, wherever it is you get your action figures and comics, and grab this series. And if you don't mind hitting that fancy little mojo bell. Next, subscribe. That was your continue to upload content. You guys get notified. Come to the channel. And we love to talk with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, everyone.